All right, so I would like to welcome you to this class, and particularly, I'm glad to be here. And I must say that the last set of public admin students that I taught, I had a wonderful time with them. And anytime I'm coming to their class, I'm always excited because they have this way of being active and in my class. And I want to believe that I'm meeting another set of like minds who are ready to learn and to interact, so that at the end of the day, you'll have gotten sufficient knowledge on this particular course. I don't know the code that has been given to you, but this course is titled Introduction to Law and Nigerian Legal System 1. Introduction to Law and Nigerian Legal System 1, which we have assigned the code JIL 111. So I welcome you, and I wish you a wonderful semester. At the end of the day, that you come out with flying colors in all you do. Okay, so having welcome ourselves, I understand that my colleague, Dr. Karibi White, was in this class last week, and she opened the floor upon which I will be building today. Like I asked your class rep the extent of work done in that class, I didn't get a feedback to know where you stopped or what you did in the last class, so that we know exactly where to start from today. So I would like to ask a good Samaritan in the class who can help me and tell us what you did in the last class, which we gave us a good start for today's class. Okay, I can see Adigbola Emmanuel. Yes, please, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Last week, we actually we started with the law, the functions of law, classification of law, types of main classification of law. So, and we stop at type of private law, which is under the types of main classification of law.
Okay. Okay, so you did all of that in the course of that class.
Yes,
were
sir.
you given the course outline or the course content?
The only she mentioned to introduction to law, so she told us what she would be talking about last week to us. I don't
I
think
can't
she
hear you.
actually gave. She didn't give us the course outline. It's only what we talked about last week is what she told us about.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me hear from Ako and Jeffrey.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, sir. But basically, the things she taught us was all the introductions and things we'll be expecting during the next class. I actually stopped the last because network was having issue that day. The last place I stopped, she gave us all the history of common law, subsidiary legislation, status of history of Nigerian legal system and all that. So most things that she taught us, the last part that I stopped was Nigerian legislation. So that was where she actually stopped like the England, sorry, 1 second. The stationary interpretations and all that. So those are the parts of things that she told us, the classifications of law and criminal laws, civil law and all that. Those are she just gave us mostly introductions, saying that when we come for the next class, we will have more explanations and the rest. So that's where she stopped.
All right, thank you very much. And I think she has finished teaching this course already. If she has given you all of that, and as university students, you are not supposed to be spoon-fed. All you just needed is to know the recommended tests so that you could read up the topics that have been let out to you. Okay, but what I'm going to do for the purpose of those who were not in that first class, I'm going to pretend as if you've not done anything, and I will do another introduction and make available to you the content of this course that we are going to be dealing with. And by the time we are done with this summary, I believe that you already set your mind on what the course is all about for this semester. And just like I usually encourage, that you get your textbooks and start reading ahead. Okay? And I would like to specifically plead with you to put in your best for this course. Aside the fact that you need to pass it, you also need to know that you need to know what is being taught. It is one thing for you to be called an expert on a particular field, and you know what it is. You are a doctor, you should be able to carry out the practice. You don't just go to school because you want the degree, but you want the knowledge. So I will request that you put in your best so that at the end of the day, you are able to come out fine at the end of the semester. And it is common when we have online classes like this that many people will turn on the Zoom and walk away. And that's why those who put on their videos, they are able to concentrate more because they know that another person is looking at them. And then they listen, they take notes, they are committed to what is being done in a class. I know as we speak now, some are probably in a party, they just put the earpiece in their ear and they are eating party rice or, doing all sorts. Some are in the market. But my fear is that how do you get the best of a class when you are attending to other things at the same time? That's why when I came on and I saw some people sending chats into the box, telling people to turn off their cameras, I wasn't happy with that. More so that this class does not belong to them. They do not have the right to direct any member of this class to do one thing or the other. So I will encourage you not just to turn on the Zoom or log into the Zoom and walk away. The system we run will make it difficult for you to be looking for one lecturer to beg to say you want to pass. This course is not a course that is difficult to pass. If you can participate actively in the class, you are good to go. And if you participate actively, you have opportunity to listen to the lecture on YouTube as many times as you like. And with that, you are good to go, on this particular course. And then when you have cause to discuss with other people, other colleagues, they even think that you are probably a law student, whereas you have your own area of specialty that you are being trained on. So having said that, we delve into the course content for this course. The first topic, we have just 4 topics for this course, for this semester. 4 topics, but loaded with subtopics. As a matter of fact, by the time we'll be looking at topic 3, you will not probably know that we are looking at topic 3. You will think we are in topic 75. That's to let us know the how lengthy that particular topic is. But majorly, we have 3 topics. 4 topics, which we are going to discuss throughout this semester. And first one is the concept of legal system. The concept of legal system. Under this particular topic 1, we will look at what the legal system is. Because like I said, the title of this course is Introduction to Law and Nigerian Legal System. So you will have course to look at what legal system is. Also, basic introduction to law. That will lead us to look at a subtopic under that, which is definition of law. We're going to take our time to deal with that extensively, define law by virtue of the understanding you had in the class. We will define law based on the various submissions that have been made by legal scholars. We will define law based on the perspectives of some individuals who have dealt with law before now. So after we have discussed the definition of law, another subtopic we are going to look at is classification of law. Under the classification of law, we will look at the various divisions that law has been classified into. The ones that we can refer to as general classification, and also the one that we can refer to as aspects of law, which one way or the other, some of us you already know, but you may not know that that is an aspect or a classification of law. There is nobody in this class who will not think that does not know what we say when we talk about the law of karma. The law of karma, which some people believe that when you do good, you do bad, the bad will come again to you, is an aspect of law. It can also be put under a particular specific class of law. So in the course of looking at that topic, classification of law, we will look at aspect of law and the various major classification of law. And by the time we are done with that, we will have concluded topic 1, and we move on to the second topic, which is the historical development of Nigerian legal system. I'll repeat that again: historical development of Nigeria legal system. And under that topic 2, we are going to look at another subtopic known as nature of Nigerian legal system. I'll repeat again, topic 2 is historical development of Nigerian legal system. And that will give us the history, how as to how our law develop up to date. Of course, we started from somewhere. Today, we are somewhere. Where did we start from? How did we get to where we are? All of those will be discussed under topic 2, that historical development of Nigerian legal system. And then, like I said, the other subtopic that we're going to consider under that is known as nature of the Nigerian legal system. And then we move to topic 3. Under topic 3, the major topic for topic 3 is sources of Nigerian legal system. Sources of Nigerian legal system, that is, the sources of our laws, or where our law got their origin from. When we talk about sources, we're talking about the origin of a thing. And then, as it relates to the topic of discourse, our focus will be on how, the sources of the bundles of our legal system as a nation. So, under this topic, we are going to look at 7 sources of Nigerian law. The first one will be Nigerian legislation. One of the first sources that we are going to look at is Nigerian legislation. This will be followed by another subtopic, Nigerian legislative process. Nigeria legislative process. When we talk about Nigerian legislation as the first source of Nigerian law, under that we look at what do we mean by Nigerian legislation. And another subtopic under that Nigerian legislation will be the process of lawmaking in Nigeria. So that's the first source. The second source we're also going to look at is the received English law. The received English law. Under the received English law, we are going to look at how the English law came into our system. How did we get to where we are? One of the things you will notice or you will discover in our conversation is the fact that by virtue of our colonial heritage, Nigeria as a nation copied a lot of the laws of other countries, especially those countries, the nation that colonized us as a people, which we popularly refer to as our colonial master. Okay, so we will look at examples of the received English law. We include the common law. We will look at that under the received English law. So to speak, we can say that example of the received English law that we're going to be discussing under this subtopic 2 include common law, doctrines of equity, and statutes of general application, which is popularly summarized as SOGA. SOGA. So again, we are going to look at, under the received English law, we're going to look at common law.
See, he will speak.
Please, if you are not talking to us, kindly mute your microphone. I don't want to be removing people from this class. Thank you. Afolabi, what can we do for you?
So I wanted to ask if you could share the screen so that we could see what you're dictating.
Did I tell you that I'm reading from a screen? So I said under topic 3, we will look at sources of Nigerian law. And then we'll look at number 1 source is the Nigerian legislation. And outside Nigerian legislation, as a subtopic, we are going to look at the Nigerian legislative process. And I said the second source of Nigerian law we are going to look at is the received English law. And under the received English law, we will look at common law, doctrines of equity, and statutes of general application. And that will be the second example of the received English law, of the sources of law that we are going to deal with in this class. Also, another source that we are going to examine extensively is what is known as the case law. Case law. That is the third source of Nigerian law. And under that subtopic, we will look at what is popularly known as judicial precedents. Judicial precedents. We will also look at hierarchy of courts in Nigeria. Hierarchy of courts in Nigeria. And we will also talk about the doctrine of stare decisis. The doctrine of stare decisis. So under case law, as subtopic 3, under topic number 3, we will look at judicial precedent, we'll look at hierarchy of courts, and also stare decisis. The fourth source of Nigerian law is customary law. That is the fourth one that we are going to look at in the course of dealing with this course this semester. Customary law. Then we will look at the nature and characteristics of customary law. The nature and characteristics of customary law. After that, under that customary law as a subtopic, we will look at the validity of customary law. Validity of customary law, that will give us the privilege to look at the various tests that a custom must pass through before it can be applied in any court in Nigeria. And under customary law as a source of Nigerian law, we will look at proof of customary law. That is, how do you prove customary law? And then the fifth sources of Nigerian law we're going to look at is Islamic law. Islamic law is one of the sources of Nigerian law. And under the Islamic law as a source of Nigerian law, we are going to look at the history of Islamic law in Nigeria and sources of Islamic law. So we look at the history of Islamic law in Nigeria, and also we look at the history of Islamic law in Nigeria. The sixth sources is what is popularly known as international law. We look at international law as a source of Nigerian law, and under international law as a source of Nigerian law, we look at the sources of international law. Look at sources of international law. We look at treaties. Treaties as in TREATIES. We also look at convention, and then we will look at international customs. By the time we are done looking at those under international law as a source of Nigerian law, we will move to the last but not the least of the sources of Nigerian law, which is opinion of jurists and legal writers. That is the seventh source of Nigerian law that we are going to consider under topic 3. So I recap again. Under topic 3, which is sources of Nigerian law, we look at Nigerian legislation, we look at received English law, we look at case law, we look at customary law, look at Islamic law, international law, and last but not the least, we look at opinion of jurists and legal writers. Is interpretation of statutes. Interpretation of statutes. And under the interpretation of statutes, we are going to consider the various rules of interpreting laws in our country. Okay, as legal tools. We will look at them, and then with that, we will have concluded the course content of this particular course for this semester. And we have some recommended books which you can get from textbooks, from our bookshops, whether on campus here or any good bookshop where law books are sold. So we recommend The Nigerian Legal System by Akintunde Obilade. Akintunde Obilade, Nigerian Legal System. We also recommend Nigerian Legal System by S.A. Malemi. If you Google all of these names, you will see the picture of the book and the author. The first one we recommend is Akintunde Obilade, and the title of the book is Nigerian Legal System. And also Nigerian Legal System by S.A. Malemi. So by the time you get all of these top textbooks, I think we also have another one by Nikki Toby. That is the name of the author, Nikitobe. Nikki Toby. And I think with those 3 books, you have the course content properly covered. Okay. All right. So with that, we move straight to the first topic, which is the concept of legal system. Do we have any question before I proceed? And nobody should ask me for notes, because what you are going to get in this class is sufficient and more than notes. And aside that, you will have this recording on the YouTube channel that I believe has been shared with you. And also, if you check the YouTube channel that has been shared with you, you will see that all these topics have been taught only this semester. You either see any lecture you see that is tagged Introduction to Law is this course. Any lecture that you see that is tagged Nigerian Legal System, it is this course. So there is none of those recordings that you will touch on that will not explain the course content that I've given you. So already, even without stressing yourself so much, if you listen to those lectures and participate actively in this class, you already have what it takes to be successful during your exam. So let me take questions before I take the first class. Lambo, you're raising your hand. Kenny, you are raising your hand. You have the floor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Ask a question concerning the 7 sources of Nigerian law. Please, I didn't get the last one, sir, which says the opinion of juries and legal. I didn't get the last sentence, please, sir.
Legal writers.
Thank you very much. Legal writers. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Yes, Lambo.
Sir, it's the same thing I wanted to ask.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Omar.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I wanted to ask for you to just come again with the textbook you mentioned so I can like jot it down and get it.
Okay, the title
Yes,
is
sorry.
Nigerian Legal System.
Nigeria Legal System.
Yes, by Akintunde Obilade.
Okay.
The other one is by Ese Malemi. Ese as in S-E-S-E, I think so. Malemi. All right. Wasiu Adisa, you're on the floor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question. I want you to repeat under international law as a source of Nigerian law. You gave us like 3 subtopics there.
Yes, I said
So
one
lost
is sources. One is sources. That means we're going to look at sources of international law. Treaties. Treaties. Treaties.
Yes, I got that.
Then conventions.
Conventions.
Yes, the conventions is not the one of the church convention. No.
Okay, sir.
And the last one is international customs.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Are we good now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. So we move on. Ayomide, yes.
Yeah.
Ayomide, we are listening to you.
Like those books you mentioned, like against the levels of like
If you can hear me, your network is very bad. So if you don't mind, you can send us questions through the question and answer option. I will be glad to respond to you as soon as I have alerts in front of me. Okay? So, yeah, the network of the organization is not very good. Okay, so let's move on. The first thing we're going to do is to look at the concept of legal system. The concept of legal system. And I'll begin by saying that in our everyday lives, we experience and come in contact with issues of law. As a matter of fact, your being in this class is a product of law. Somebody will ask me, how? University of Lagos, where you are schooling, is a product of law. Then, when you apply to Unilag, you were given rules and regulations that will guide or manage your studentship. In this community, there are things you can do, there are things you cannot do. Aside the example as it relates to your studentship here, some of you have joined public buses today. When you enter the bus, because the bus is not yours, you were asked for money and you paid. And then some of these drivers sometimes are not, very cultured in talking to people. Probably they said what you did not like to you in the course of your journey. And you felt like if you had a gun, you would have shot at the driver. Even if you had a gun, you didn't shoot because you look at it that if I shoot, what will be the consequence? What will be the repercussion of my action? And therefore, it is because of the existence of law in our society. That's why all of those things are under control. So therefore, this topic, the concept of legal system, will introduce you to what law is. What do we mean? What combination of words can we put together to give us a definition of law? We will also look at components of law. That is the component of our legal system. And then the question then we ask ourselves is that, what then is legal system? Because the topic says the concept of legal system. What then is a legal system? A legal system means the aggregates of rules in operation in a particular society at a given time, together with the institutions which goes with them. That is basically what we mean by a legal system. I'll repeat again. A legal system means the aggregates of rules in operation in a particular society at a given time, together with the institution which goes with it. what are the institutions? The institutions, for example, in Nigeria, we have our laws. We have the police that ensures that we all comply with the law.
Sir, can you please repeat yourself?
When you have the police officer, they have to arrest you for breaking the law. They don't just take you to their station. Rather, they take you to court. The courts are also governed by law. And when the court are finished with you, they also send you, if you are found guilty, to the correctional centers. These are the various institutions that surround law in Nigeria, or even in any society at all. So that is to say that when we're talking about legal system, we are talking about the combination of laws that exist in a country and the supporting institutions that aid the smooth runnings of law. When you are driving in Lagos, you know that there are traffic rules. And then you know that the LASTMA, they are the officials that manage traffic in Lagos. Many of you that are listening to me, sometimes when the LASTMA officials are not around, you do what you like on the road. Sometimes you even take one way. Sometimes you reverse on the highway. Sometimes you park where you are not supposed to park. But you do not do all of those misdoings when you see a LASTMA official on site. Why? It's to show that the officer of the law is very important. So generally speaking, we talk about law, we talk about, when in legal system, we talk about the combination of the aggregate of rules that is operating in a particular society. Meaning that a particular set of laws may be operational here in Nigeria and is not the same that is operating in the United States of America. Even if we look inward in Nigeria here, some of the laws of Ogun State are not the same with Lagos State laws. For example, in Lagos, there are areas where you cannot ride a bicycle, or where you cannot ride the bicycle, they call it now, Okada. The other day, I was traveling out of Lagos just towards Akute, which is popularly seen as part of Lagos. Suddenly, I got to a place and I saw bikes everywhere. It was then nobody said, this is the aspect of this place that is in Ogun State. Meaning that the restriction on bikes, even though it's in Lagos, is not in other. So a legal system, therefore, can mean that combination of rules and regulation that are in operation in a particular locality. That is one way to talk about the meaning of Nigerian legal system or the legal system. Another way we can talk about the concept of legal system is to say that a legal system refers to the procedure or process for interpreting and enforcing the law. It can mean legal system can refer to the procedure or process let me ask, has anybody ever been arrested in this class by the police? Anybody? Even if the entire
Yes,
class
sir. Yes, sir.
have been
I've been
arrested
arrested
before.
before.
Okay, when you were arrested, what did they do to you?
They
I don't
put
want
me.
to ask what you did.
What do you say?
I said I don't want to ask what you did, but when you were arrested, what happened? What transpired after you were arrested?
As they put me inside cell, maybe 2 hours they get my bill. The next 2 hours they get my
Okay,
bill. That's it.
okay, okay. I even love the brief of the story. Now, you were able to get your bail because bail is a process that is in our legal system as a people. You say bail is your right. Bail is free.
Bill
You
is
were
not.
simply able to get that because it is part of the process that when an individual is arrested, he is entitled to bail. And if it's not a bailable offense, the police cannot keep the individual perpetually in the cell. The process, the procedure of our legal system require that they either charge the person to court or release the person to continue to enjoy his or her freedom. Is that a legal system refers to procedures and processes for interpreting and enforcing the law. It is when you have gone wrong to the provision of the law that you are arrested. Then after you have been, there are requirements to how you can be arrested and what can happen to you after you have been arrested. So a legal system deals with the provisions of process and procedure on the enforcement and the interpretation of law in a particular society. Number 3 way we can define legal system is that it can also mean a body of rules or doctrines associated with them that have the force of law in any given society. I said the legal system can be defined as a body of rules or doctrines associated with them that have the force of law in a given society. Of course, that is similar to the explanation I gave before. We have laws in Nigeria which every citizen and non-citizens who find themselves in Nigeria are duty-bound to obey. So if we have defined what our legal system is, what therefore is Nigerian legal system? So by the term Nigerian legal system, we mean the totality of laws or legal rules and machinery which operates within Nigeria as a sovereign and independent nation. I said by Nigerian legal system, we simply mean the totality of laws or rules which is in operation in Nigeria as a sovereign nation. And before I conclude today, I need to let you know that we need to put in front of our mind that English law has a tremendous influence on our legal system, and it forms part or the substantial part of our law as a people. Of course, this is not far from the fact that we were colonized by the English. And it should also be noted that despite this major influence of English law, the Nigerian legal system has not lost touch with its own indigenous custom of the people, meaning that yes, we are copied series of laws from our colonial masters. Our own customary law are still very much in place till today. That's why if you see someone you like, as a man, you see a woman that you like, and you think, this one will be good to be my wife. You can't just carry the woman. Even when the woman agrees to your proposal, you don't just carry the woman to your house and you start rearing children. There are customs of every community, every ethnic group that are still very much enforceable in our system today. Therefore, the Nigerian legal system is a perfect system on its own, perfect in the sense that it contains everything that might help us to manage our life as a people in Nigeria, even though our legal system is still improving, still yet to meet up to required standard, especially if you compare it with advanced country. But we see that the Nigerian legal system, as of today, is serving the purpose for which it's been put in place. So with that, we stop here for today. It's 4 o'clock on the dot, and the class is to end at 4. So I don't know if there's any question before we call it a day and reconvene in our next class. Any question?
Good evening, sir.
Yes. Your question, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So I just wanted to ask about the textbook. What about the one in our module? Is it also the same thing or there are differences?
Which one do you have in your module?
The one I have this legal system that we are just being taught now is not in the module.
Which do you have in the module?
I don't even know, but I just went through it and I can't see the Nigerian legal system.
When you know, you can come back and ask your question. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.